Listen to them sounds. Of course, I start talking and they get quiet. Good morning, good people. Sounds of being out here in the garden. Want to start off by saying a big thank you to Sister T. Last night we had a panel on her platform, Sister T's platform on YouTube. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe. And we had a panel talking about some of the People's Garden stuff. We had kind of question and answer session. It was doing more introducing of the People's Garden website. Make sure y'all go to the peoplesgarden0.com and sign up. It's free to sign up, and it's basically a community of gardeners, people, new gardeners, more experienced gardeners of all different levels. And it's a place to learn about different gardening things. It's a place to share information. It's just a place for people to get interested in gardening and to ask the questions that you need to ask about gardening. So on Sister T's channel last night, we had a question and answer session where people were able to come on, and ask questions in the chat. We actually went on the People's Garden website and answered some of the questions that had been asked on there as well. And what we're doing is just talking about it and getting the information out there. Now, everybody can do their own research just by kind of Google searching some of this stuff. But if you want to come on and join a community of people who are just talking about gardening, sharing pictures of their gardens, asking questions whenever they see an issue in their garden, the peoplesgarden0.com. That's a place where that's all we're doing over there is talking about gardening. That includes flowers and anything that you're growing. Come on over, join the community. Even if you don't have anything yet, join the website and then look at what some people are doing who are getting started just like you, and then it'll give you some ideas. But if you go watch that video last night on Sister T's channel, and I'll share the link also under this video here, we go over some things that maybe you had questions about. Maybe you just didn't want to ask the question, but now you know a way that you can ask the questions. Go to the People's Garden 0 and just put your questions in there. There's no judgment. There's no judgment. We're all learning this stuff. And as I said on the video in the question and answer session last night, I don't mind doing research on stuff. If it's something that you have a question about, you can contact me behind the scenes. I'll put my email address below. My way you can contact me on Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff is down below. So if you just have a question, you don't want to ask it publicly, you can ask it down below, and then I can answer it either directly to you, or I may actually even talk about it here on one of my videos. That's actually what I'm going to do today. But first, like I said, thank you, Sister T. Thank you for allowing us to use your channel, your platform. Thank you to the People's Garden, the administration of the People's Garden. Thank you for all that you do. You do so much behind the scenes work that nobody even knows about. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you for both of you starting this community, bringing the attention and the awareness to the community, and giving us a place to talk about these things and explain the importance of gardening. And like we were showing last night, do it with your kids. Your kids would love to see some of these things growing. So let me show you some of the stuff I have going on in my garden, and we're going to talk about some of the questions that got asked to me after we got off the panel last night. This right here, Valentina in Arizona. This right here is the shade cloth that I'm talking about. This is a black one. Now, I just kind of have it rigged up here, and I'll show you how I have mine rigged up here. But, you could actually have a more solid structure and then have this draped over it. You see it has the little hooks here. So if you, put screws or something in a board, you can actually hook it onto the board or whatever. There's different ways for you to attach it. But this is what I'm talking about. If you live in a place where it's getting too much sun, you're probably going to need something like this. This is a black one. I just got this on Amazon, honestly, I believe. But you can find it at garden centers and stuff like that. And use something like that to cover your plants. And it'll cut down the amount of sun. I think this says it's supposed to cut out about 50% sun. So they make them in different, in a sense, weights, I guess is what you would call it. So this is kind of like a 50% weight or, sun cutout. So you can get whatever you think you need. Like there in Arizona, you may need this much actually. I think you said you're getting like 115 degrees. I don't know how much shade you have as far as natural trees or anything, but yeah, something like this is probably what you're going to want to look for. Let's take a look at the garden. So as you see, things are still looking good. We have some tomatoes on there that we can just take off kind of at any time. I just have been plucking them off and eating them straight off the vine here lately. But I may save up a few and we'll do a salad or something. Here's another look at that cloth, the shade cloth. You see it has the little O-rings that you can, hook it to something. I just have mine rigged up and I just put a board up there and then I have it hung up there as well, because it's high enough to be above all of my plants. Now the cucumber plant has actually grabbed a hold of it because I didn't realize how high that was going to be, and I didn't build trellises like I should have for my cucumber plant. So it's actually grabbed to the shade cloth, but I'm just letting that happen. And then over here, I just have it. There's some I put some screws up there on the deck and have it connected there. And then I just have it attached on the outside of my fence. This one is larger than I actually need it, but it's fine because I'll be able to use it again and cover more area or whatever. So yeah, just look for a shade cloth. You can find them again, of course, on Amazon, or you can look in a garden center. A nursery may have it. Just depends on how much stuff they carry. So what I'm mainly coming to show you is our new stuff that we planted. We're at day 6 now. This is all just from getting the seed in the ground. So at day 6, remove leaves and stuff like that from the garden. But day 6, you see we have a bunch of sprouts on all of our rows. This is some of the dinosaur kale. This is another row of the dinosaur kale. This is the cherry radish. These are probably the tallest plants so far, and they actually grow under the ground. This is the red Russian kale. There's a lot on that row. The broccoli, they're sparse on that row. And then the lettuce, and there's not very many on this row, and I believe I know why. And I learned why last night on our question and answer session. Certain whenever you're planting seeds, any types of seeds, it tells you, kind of the depth that you need to plant the seed. And you're like, all right, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. You can't really get that exact when you're working in soil. But what is kind of important to know is how that seed germinates. So taking care of the proper germination of the seed is the key to getting it to sprout. So with things like lettuce, the seeds are very small. So what you have to do is kind of almost sprinkle them on the surface. You can't plant them very deep at all, because when you do, it doesn't allow the seed to germinate. So you have to kind of sprinkle the seed on the surface, just barely covering it with dirt, if at all. And then it will sprout like that. So I'm probably over here in my area where I planted the lettuce going to have to come back and basically just plant some more seed there. No big deal. That's why you get a lot of seeds in your pack. But the rest of them, they look like they're doing pretty good. We'll see how much sprouts up here in a couple more days. I'll have to come in and thin out. Well, the radish, they actually can grow pretty close together. I'll probably have to come in and thin out the kale here soon. So we'll see. But you're going along with me. This is all just from putting a seed in the dirt 6 days ago at this point. And this is what we have. So you can start right now. You got challenged a week ago. You got challenged again last night. I challenged you a week ago. The People's Garden challenged you last night to join the People's Garden and to plant something today. You got challenged again. Don't let another week go by without getting something planted in the ground. All it takes is a little bit of effort now. I have not watered this garden but one time in the week that this stuff has been planted. I've only watered it once. It's rained. Mother Nature has done all of the watering, has provided all of the sun. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort on my part, but to do the work to put the seed in the ground. Make sure you take action, good people. Do it today. It's Iceberg. Salute.